Hello, this is a video for test two. I want to go over a few of them. As I've made it known, I didn't want to spoon feed everyone throughout test two and three. I do that with test one. I do that with the assignments, tell you what the thesis is of each of the sections. I want to at least leave a little bit up to you. So with that in mind, a few things that I may not have conveyed, and I want to be sure to be fair so that you're equipped to study this and to get all of them right, theoretically. And remember, you have one take on test one, okay? One submission. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen. All right. And I'm going to hit on a couple things. Notice here the anti-Spanish colonial reign leaders like Filipino insurgent Emilio Aguinaldo and Cuban Jose Marti felt as if the U.S. alone could help them militarily win. No, that's a little too far. I don't have much on that, but that's a little too far. You have quotes from both of them showing some grave misgivings about the U.S. helping them kick the Spanish out of their islands, knowing full well that we may not want to leave once we help them. All right, so I want to make sure that I go over that one. With number four, notice option B, the instructor subjectively claimed that U.S. naval technology was lopsidedly superior and that the Spanish hurt themselves in Cuba via strategies that seem ineffective in hindsight. That is the case. From what I've read, especially from Ivan Music's book called Empire by Default. All right. And then number six, Walter Lefebvre does do revisionist history. I cite him with revisionist data, but I don't know if I overtly stated that Walter Lefebvre did so. But absolutely, Walter Lefebvre is connected to revisionist historiography of the United States, especially pertaining to its policies in Latin America. Okay. And so I'm going to move on here to number 11. Number 11, I subjectively would depict the Hawaiian island colonization by the United States in revisionist fashion. A lot of kind of Marxist take on it. The sugar lobbyist group. It starts off very kind of court oriented, the common narrative with what supposedly well-meaning missionaries and albeit with some strict regulations over the Hawaiian people, abetted by some Hawaiian leaders. But then it turns into a darker tale. So I subjectively would put it as a revisionist narration. Okay. And so, and then number 18, I'm not sure if I have that clear in my writings, but notice B, settlement house workers always demonstrated a conscientious regard for their constituents' ethnic and cultural diversity, never trying to make white Anglo-Saxon Protestant middle-class Americans of them. That one I subjectively would claim as false. There's a lot of evidence against that. There's a woman named Rahel Galoob, and her story demonstrates that there was cultural friction faced by the new immigrants in these settlement houses, feeling as if there were pressure to make them conform and make them good kind of WASP middle class Americans. Okay, and so then I would move on to 28, which I may not have been clear on, just in case I'm erring on the side of caution here. Look at option B. Conservative progressive regulations against immorality and drunkenness stifled the soldiers' experience. I think that goes too far. I think that one's false. The common narrative states that American boys lost their innocence in France during World War I, despite the attempt to place strict regulatory, rules over them. That they were flaunted. There's just too much evidence to suggest that. that they were flaunted. All right. And then moving on to number 32, most women for the first time became economically independent. If you look in your textbook, that's too far of a statement. It didn't go that far with a new woman. Okay. So, so keep that in mind with number 32. All right. And then with 33, I subjectively, I think I have this in there, but just in case I don't, I would take a good look at option A as an apple. Uh, Depicted as having attained limited success. Nevertheless, it was depicted as nearly impossible to enforce and tied in class to a mass deviance image of the Roaring Twenties and to the sociological question of legislating morality. That's what I tried to convey regarding prohibition there. And then lastly, with 37 is take a look at option A. The instructor argued that it should have involved the legal issues of authority over curriculum and goals and limitations regarding academic liberty. And he demonstrated that that is what indeed was focused upon. No, that was not what it was focused upon. It became circus-like, the situation with the Scopes trial in the 1920s. And then you have a few questions on your straight out of your textbook that I expect you to look for yourselves. By now, you should have had ample time to obtain your textbook. All right. So good luck on test 2 and study through your argumentative assignments. Most of the answers are found virtually, the vast majority of them can be found in your argumentative write-ups. And I sort of plugged in the gaps today with a few that that may not have been conveyed in the written narrative. I'm saying it verbally and sharing it with you. All right, so good luck on test 2. And I hope to see some of you on future Zooms.